the show. And here's what I do know. If every one of their friends has been a VIP, right, then they'll be a VIP too as well. I think it says like scholarship page or your sponsorship, right? I call it my VIP because here's the thing. How important are recommendations? The most. The most important, right? If you go to a demo, if you think about it, like what's more important, the sale or the recommendations?
Recs.
The recs, right? So every single time, because here's the thing. If you make a sale, great. Get lots of recommendations. If you don't make a sale, cool. Get lots of recommendations. So recommendations are always the most important. So if someone's giving me 5, 10, 15, or 20, anybody that gives me over 5 is considered a me. Well, I moved it up to 10. So meaning anybody that gives me 10 is my very important person, right? So I want them to sign my page. You know, like they give me 9, I'm like, ooh, one more, and you can be a VIP, right? And you can sign the page. Because here's the thing. Somebody goes, well, don't I have to give them something so I can get lots of recommendations? Not at all, right? You don't. Why do people give recommendations? There's only one reason. You already know this. So,
oh, right.
What? Yeah, they like you. And the other part is they want to help you out. That's it. They just like you, right? So if you're getting 2, well, you might want to rephrase your demo a little bit, right? And that goes into step 4. Build lots of rapport. Build lots of rapport. Talk to them in the very beginning about them on what they do outside. So write that down. Outside the house. I just ask them, what do you do for fun, Mrs. Jones? Right? Does anybody know anybody that's part, or like maybe has like a grandmother or something like that, that's part of a bunco club? You know what I'm talking about? Right? Like I had no idea what a bunco club was until I met a lady. I still don't even know what the game is, but it's like a game and like ladies get together and like play a game and stuff. But like a bunco group, it's a dice game. Like I know that, but that's all I know. And it's like, I don't know, I feel like it's some random cult or something, but they know so many people, right? So like I just ask what they do outside, right? What do you do outside, right, of the house? What do you do for fun? That's key number 4, build lots of rapport. And all the questions should be geared towards who do they know, right? Now you can use that for sales-wise. So if they like, you know, like their daughter's getting married and stuff like that, the beauty of that is then, hey, they can get a gift for their daughter, you know? It's like, oh, hey, I know like gifts and stuff. What about your daughter? And they're like, oh, yeah, right? And that can actually help you increase your sales plus your recommendations as well. So key number 4, build lots of rapport, right? In the very beginning. Key number 5, after building rapport, share your goals. Key number 5, share your goals. Share your goals. Why? It establishes a connection with someone really, really quickly. How many of you ever been on a phone before where you were like on the phone and like someone's like, you're like on the phone for like a couple hours with this person, right? Typically like almost a significant other, but it's like in that beginning stage of the relationship sometimes. But like you're on the phone, they're like, what'd y'all talk about? And literally you go, I don't know. Like nothing, right? So how do you establish that really fast connection with someone? Is sharing your goals. Sharing your what? Goals. Yeah. So if you don't have goals, find some. Right? But the couple thing is some of you are going to school, so it's really easy. So it's like, hey, I'm looking to pay for school. That's a goal, right? You know, it's like, hey, I just want to make it on the newsletter. That's a goal. That's solid, right? But you want your goals to also be noble. And what I mean by that is, yes, I understand that we're here to make money, but if you're just here to make money, that's too superficial. No one's like, it's like, cool, here's $1. You made money. Get out of my house, right? You know what I mean? So the key is like, be specific with it and what it's tied into, right? So biggest thing is like, hey, if you're working to make money, what is it for? Hey, to purchase your own car. That's still noble. That's, hey, you're doing it on your own. You're paving your own way. That's exciting, right? If it's paying for school, that's great. Or maybe it's a study abroad program, right? That's what I did, right? I worked 3 years, you know, to essentially take two entire months off from working here, you know? That was like my goal, right, to go do that. So, and I did it. I paid for it all on my own, right? So my family, you know, like even if I told my dad that I was going to do that, he was like, I'm not going to do that. So he didn't pay for anything for me, right? So I bought I bought my first car, paid for my school, graduated debt-free, right? But that was like my goal, and I shared those with my customers. Like, hey, I want to graduate debt-free and also do a study abroad program. That doesn't really make sense unless someone like sponsors you to do that, by the way. Just so you know. It's like study abroad, if you ask Kathy, is quite expensive. Maybe you've been a part of those programs. But those are my goals, right? That's what I want to do. What are yours? But they have to be something exciting that excites you, you know? If you want to make lots of money, well, what's lots of money? You know, a lot of money to you might be 10 grand. 10 grand to some other people is a joke. It's like a drop in the hat for some people, right? They're like, 10 grand, right? You're like, well, what a nice lifestyle. But I mean, it will progress for some of you, especially the ones that really put time in your growth. But the key is, my whole point of all that is just share your goals, right? Make them meaningful. So when you ask for recommendations at the very end, it's really easy because you just go, hey, it really helps me out towards my goals and what I'm working towards, right? So you gotta be a sponsor because it really helps me out towards that, right? You gotta get a couple more, right? That was key number 5. Key number 6 is ask twice. Ask twice. Ask how many times? Twice. Always ask twice for everything. Always. All of you have friends. You do this all the time, right? It's like, hey, you're like, hey, you want to go to the movies? They're like, nah, I can't. You're like, come on. And what do they sometimes do? All right. How many of you done something like that before? Say aye. Right? All of you have. You nodded your head, but I said say aye, but that's okay. But all of you done something like that before too. Guess what? If you do that with Mrs. Jones, she does the same thing, right? You're like, come on, just 2 more. And they're like, all right, and they'll give you 2 more. And sometimes by just asking twice, you'll get a customer. Mine was Cindy Schaffner, right? She didn't even start the lady. I had to ask twice for it. I was like, who do you think would be really great to see? She didn't even write her down. The lady bought over $1,000 worth of Cutco for me, and at the time I was at 40%. I mean, that's $400. Plus, the lady tipped me $50, which was awesome. She get a better bag, right? It was yeah. So she did that, and then she referred me to 20 people. Small world. The funny thing is, her son actually knew my brother's best man, or my brother's best friend. He was his best man in his wedding, right? Because I have 3 brothers, so it didn't make sense to have me or my other brother to be the best. It's kind of, what I mean? You can't have 2, but either way, besides the point, it was my brother's best friend. They knew each other at the Air Force Academy. Small world, right? And then actually, the funny thing is, Van Schaefer actually knew her son. They were really, really good friends, right? And she referred me to him, and was married, just about to have their first kid. And my point is, though, she gave me a whole bunch of referrals, and from that list, it helped me explode into my career, and doing really, really well, right? It was also my first time seeing actually a piano play by itself. I thought it was like in life. I was like, oh, that's cool, right? This was also 8 years ago, so it's a long time ago. But my point is, always ask what? Twice. Always ask twice. Do this with everything, not just with referrals. Ask twice when you want a free chicken finger at Whataburger or something like that. I do it all the freaking time, or I used to when I was younger and I used to do fast food. That's a complete waste of money. But if you do, I always ask twice, right? Why? Because I always ask for free things, and then they tell me no, and I'm like, please? Or come on, and they're like, and then here's how you know they're about to do it. They do this. Everyone does the same. Even if you ask the first time, they're like, all right, here you go. But asking twice, they go, I'm like, please? And they're like, all right, right? And I throw it in there, and they don't always give me the full big ones or whatever. When I was younger, they would sometimes do that short, mini ones. But I didn't care. I got a free one, and no one else is getting a free one, Does it work absolutely every single time? No, right? It's a fast food thing. But here's the thing. If it works 60% of the time, I'm going to do it ask every single time, right? Because I'm going to generate more. So the key, though, is always ask twice for recommendations, right? If you ask Francisco Herrera, he gets 30. You ask 4 times. 15. Great. 5 more, Mrs. Jones. You can do this. She gets to 20. He's like, great. Can you get a couple more? And they're like, all right. He's like, just a few more, and he keeps asking. They're like, I'm done. I can't do anymore. It's like they're doing push-ups or something, right? It's so funny. But he gets 30 recommendations, right? But he just keeps asking. Key number 7. This is a big one. Thought jog. Thought jog. This would be huge. I should have put this in the very beginning. But key number 7 is thought jog. Give them thought joggers, right? Because here's the funny thing: have them grab their cell phone, address book, right? Those are thought joggers. I know it's in the approach. Hey, can you grab your cell phone really quickly? But the other thought jogger is address book or directory, right? In a directory, it's they circle whoever they know in the directory, right? Because if they give you a directory, you're like, you know all of them? They're not going to know all of them, right? Or neighborhood directory, something like that. But just circle all of them. That's how you go from getting 5 and now you just literally got 100, just like that, right? But the other thing is thought joggers, sometimes when you ask someone, hey, write them down, this is what they do. They look up. Are numbers up? No, there's no numbers up. There's just tiles up or the ceiling, right? The numbers are where? In their phone. Does that make sense? So I have them look at that, and then I just thought jog. Who do you know? And that's the key. Who do you know? Right? I write that down. Who do you know? Right? And you do that while you're cleaning up. Just so you know, if you want to get lots of referrals and they're in a rush, Here's how I always get 2, even if they're in a rush. 1, I make sure their name's on it. But if they're in a rush out, they're like, oh, here, I'll help you. I'm like, no, I'm very particular, Mrs. John. I'll do it. It's going to take me 5 minutes to clean up anyways. Can you go and just jot down a couple while I'm cleaning up? Right? And they're like, no, I mean, I'm in a rush. It's just 2 really quick. It's going to take me like 5 minutes just to do this. Right? So I make a big mess, right? And as I'm cleaning up, right, the more I clean up, the longer they'll have time to write, right? You can let them know, too. Hey, I'm going to be like another few minutes, so you might as well just write some people down, right? Like more. So 15 would be good, right? But the key is, who do you know, right? So who do you know? What part of town do you want to work in? So for me, I always wanted to work in like Memorial or where else? I like Woodlands a lot. For me, I lived in Southwest, but I was like, shoot, I'll drive to Woodlands. I went to University of Houston, so that's a 45-minute drive anyways from where I live. So I was like, everywhere in Houston's 45, so if I just drive 45 minutes to Woodlands, it's the same if I drive 30 minutes to Memorial. It's the same thing if I drive 30 minutes to Sugar Land. The same thing if I drive 30 minutes to Katy. So I was like, cool. So I just asked for referrals in all those areas. Now, the beauty thing that you guys have is the virtual demo, right? So who do you know that lives out of town? Who do you know that lives in this area? Who do you know that drives a truck? Who do you know that loves to cook? Who do you know that loves to barbecue? Who do you know that drives an armored car? Who do you know that has like a really like car that ends with I, right? Like Maserati. Who do you know that drives, has a private jet? Who do you know that has like a 2-story house? Who do you know that, and I won't like say it like that, but I'll just go, who do you know that does it? Who do you know, right? I do professions. Who do you know that's a doctor? Who do you know that's a lawyer? Who do you know that's, runs their own business? Who do you know that, and I'll just go, who do you know, right? Because doctors are great. They really appreciate a high quality stuff, right? How many of you seen a doctor before? Like on the demo, right? Don't they love Cutco? Yes. They absolutely love it, right? Every doctor I ever met, they're like, this is amazing stuff. So the key is, who do you know? Thought jot. And the last key is you can, this is my last one for you, you can bribe them. You can bribe them.
Yes.
You can. C-A-N. You can bribe them, right? So here's what I bribed them with. I had a lady, she owned Cutco. I did a service call. Some of you will learn how to do that a little bit later, which would be cool. But I did a service call for her. And what was so great is that at the end, she created a wish list. Like everything that she would love if Cutco was for free, right? Gosh, you know what I'm talking about, right? And so she wrote all this huge list, right? I set it up, boom, 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 right? She doesn't get all of it, but she gets the majority of it. And I wanted a lot of referrals. She was really nice. So I go, hey, Mrs. Jones, right? At the end of my approach, I just go, hey, Mrs. Jones, can you grab your cell phone? There's one more really important part here, so you can really help me out. I get paid everything like show Cutco, show people I'm pretty record. So all I need to do is one thing up, just jot down 10 to 20 people would be nice. I could take a look. Nobody think buy, just people nice. I can take a look. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Oh, hey, just so you know, 10 makes you a sponsor, 20 makes you a double sponsor, and once I get 50 sponsors, I get a free piece of Cutco from my manager. But so that's my approach, right? That's the word for word. Cool. So here's what's really great is after I go, hey, 10 makes you a double sponsor, I just add in there. And once I get 50 sponsors, I get a free piece of my manager. But if you get to the bottom of the page, and I just go, I'll give you that free ice cream scoop, or I'll give you a free ice cream scoop. She didn't even write the ice cream scoop on her wish list. I was like, yeah, I'll give you a free ice cream scoop. And she goes, and guess what she did? She got to the bottom of the page, right? And the bottom of my page was 30, right? So she wrote down 30. And then guess what I did? I qualified all of them. And then she was like, you're going to really ask me all these questions? And she did it for me. She was like, give me that. And she like wrote all the things, right? So I bribed them to the very end of the page, right? So the bribe is just like a free ice cream scoop, free veggie peeler, right? If you sell a homemaker plus 8, don't give the kitchen tools and the shears for free. Just give one to the other and then save the shears, right? It's like, I'm going to hook her up on one condition. Get the bottom of the page. You're telling me they won't write down 30 people of really nice that are really exciting to probably see for a pair of shears? I might max up my points, but I just got 30 referrals from someone that's really awesome that might have only wrote down 10. Right? So I saved some of my points. Josh, like, you gave away shears before? Yes, the lady was awesome. I was like, hey, you get the bottom, I'll give you the shears. And she was like, what? She was like, oh my God. She was like, I think about to like freaking pass out. And I'm like, yeah, and then literally I got 30, right? And so that's how you take things to that next level right there. The last little bonus tip, bonus, just qualify. Just qualify. So if your page looks something like this, and it's like name, phone number, right? All of you have might have a page in your manual, or not your manual, but your binder or notebook. All I do is I do 1 page per customer, and so I fold it over, and then I'm able to qualify in the back. Right. Normally it's not writing, because it'd be a notebook, sheet of paper, right? Don't give me the judgy eyes. You know what I'm talking about. So I just go, so what does Cindy do for a living? How many kids do they have, right? What's the husband's name? And that'll help with phone calls. So when the husband answers the phone, if he accidentally grabs her cell phone and answers, I'm like, oh, hey, John? He's like, yeah. I'm like, hey, is Cindy there? He's like, yeah, who's this? I'm like, oh, this is Jordan. He's like, oh, okay. Versus ring, hello? I'm like, oh, hey, Cindy there. He's like, who's this, right? Who's calling my wife? You know what I mean? So that's why I have, but I just qualify how many kids they have, what do they do for a living, what part of town they live in, if it's not already on there. Cool. And that's how I always see the top people, always. Because I always have some people that star people, but it's they star someone that shouldn't be starred. So I always qualify, so I know it's when they start, I'm like, I'm not going to call that person, right? But I have that. So that's what I got. I hope that really helps. Those are my 9 or 8 tips with the bonus.
With it qualifying, you didn't all 30?
Yeah. Sometimes they're like, really going to do that? It's all really quick anyway. Sometimes they're like, are you? And I'm like, it only takes a quick second. You want to do it? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, married, you know, and they'll do it for me. Because after they do for the first 3, they get it. So I don't even have to ask them anymore. So I'm like, what's the husband's name? What do they do for a living? Or, you know, how many kids they have? And I just keep it simple, who's home during the day? And those are my 4 questions. And so after doing that 4 times, someone already knows when I just point to the next person. I'm like, they're like, oh, husband's name's Sean. They do this. I'm actually not sure, but they do love to cook. And then I'm like, I don't even say anything anymore. They just get it. You know what I mean? Anybody that's intelligent will understand after 4 times of something happening. So, but yeah, I will. Now, if I'm in a rush, then I'll just go, who's someone that I should that I should definitely call? Who's your my top 5 people? If I have 20, right? If it's 10, I'll say who's my top 3. Who's 3 people I should definitely call. Cool. So if I'm in a massive rush, and that's fine. But I try to do qualify them. So great question. Any other questions? Sweet. So y'all, I hope that really helped. And so I hope that helps take it to the next level for you. But that's recommendations. So I'm gonna grab Kathy. Woo!
All right. So we're gonna get Cody Rhodes. Then we got Dawson ready to roll, and Mary Lou's gonna wrap you guys up. So Cody, let me get him on the phone here. He called before, ready to roll. Cody Rhodes, by the way, is one of the best people, one of the best district managers that I've seen prepare their people for the pushes. Those who were around last summer, I know some of you guys were not around last summer, so you do not know the powerhouse that is the College Station office when it comes to push periods, but College Station runs the show when it comes to push periods. And this is something that for their sales representatives, they absolutely they go crush it. And I love it. That was, back home, we had developed our base and moving here. When I got a chance to talk with Cody and see how he works with his reps, there is no district manager that I have met that over in this region, and probably 1 out of 5 district managers in my 14 years here that really understands the power of pushes, that really knows how to set those up the right way. And we asked him to share with you guys, because we've got a week and a half, in 2 weeks from yesterday, basically, it's the playoffs are on their way. But there's preparation that's done that weekend right before. So he's going to have about 10 minutes just to share with you guys. We asked him to speak on his favorite day as we prepare for the push. So I'm going to plug him in here on the audio, and let's roll. Cody Rhodes, you are on. Maybe. Can you speak? Speak. Okay, we can hear you now.
Fantastic. You can hear me?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, cool. All right. Does anyone have something to go on, please? Put some pen. All right, Matt, get some real paper. I don't like phones. I don't know if you're playing Candy Crush or if you're actually something else. Okay. All right, cool. Can you hear me, Kathy?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right, so if everyone could please, we're going to talk about some of the items tonight when I went for our office and for our organization. So for those of you guys who do not know, we're in summer, right? And one of the big breakdowns of summer, everyone says, well, summer's the most exciting time for Vector. It's our
Hey,
biggest.
Cody.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's go. It's a little bit muffled, and if you could talk a little bit slower, and I'm not sure if there's any way to do it clear, but just so we can all hear you, I really want to make sure we get this content.
Most definitely. Is that better?
Yes.
Perfect. So, as I was saying, this is going to be one of our, summer's a big time for us.
You're going to be
Summer's a
on
big time for
video.
us in Vector and in Cutco, and traditionally in Vector and in Cutco, lots of you are going to see your sales reports in the summer. They're going to be, for lots of our people, at least 50%, if not more, of the total sales for the year. And so a big thing that we do in our office, in our organization, is that we set up, we do our pushes the right way. So we have two big pushes that happen in the summer. We have lots of pushes overall, but we have two big pushes that happen. Our first big push is coming up pretty soon. It's FC1, and then our complete total blowout Super Bowl Cutco happens for FC2. FC1, everyone go ahead and write this down for me. FC1, the actual conference date, is going to be June the 29th this year. It's on a Wednesday. And FC1, which is going to be legendary this year, I want everyone to have that date down as well. FC1 is, FC2 is August the 6th. And August the 6th, just so you guys know, that's also going to be, we bring our parents to that one as well. So we're going to write down and make sure you let the parents know if that's a thing. Is that Josh Williamson?
Yeah.
That's funny. Hi, Josh. Anyway, what we're going to do, though, for these two pushes then, between FC1 and FC2, our office and then the majority of the division as well, office in the division, we're going to probably need somewhere in the neighborhood of $300,000 to $400,000 of sales going to happen in those 4 sales. How do we do that? Well, that just doesn't happen because we show up and do the same thing that we do every other day. It's because we show up and we do something different. What we're going to be doing differently is we prepare for our push, and we prepare for, in particular, the goals that we want ahead of us. So there's different goals that are going to be set for different people. I think everyone in this room right now should be going after at least $10,000 for FC1 push. Some of you guys, you're like, well, man, I'm only right now at like $2,000. I haven't sold my first $1,000 yet. How the hell are you going to talk about people going after $10,000? Well, here's the fun. I know several of you guys in your fast starts did $3,000, $5,000, $4,000. Charlie just did like $6,000 in 2 weeks anyway, and that wasn't having the full structure that we have to go for an actual push. So what makes it different? There's a few things that we need to do as a team to ramp up energy, one, but also there's some things that we just put in our schedule to make it, a little bit different than the regular day-to-day one. So if we're looking at an FC1 push, we're probably going to need to be somewhere, if you're looking at $10,000, we probably be somewhere in the neighborhood of at least 100 to 150 names and numbers. I think 100 to 150 names and numbers is what you need to sell 10K. A general rule of thumb is that for every $10,000 you want to sell, you're going to need to have about 100 names and numbers going into the push. So some of you guys in here, I know, are going after $20,000. Some people on our team for SC1 will be going after $30,000, $40,000, and $50,000 SC1 pushes. Some of our top sales reps in the college station office will be looking at chase down to a $40,000 and $50,000 push. So whenever I'm preparing, and I think everyone in this room should be hitting at least 10. I think some of you guys in this room to be going after $30,000 pushes as well. Someone's going to say, okay, well, man, $30,000, that just seems big, that seems crazy. How could I ever do that? Well, who in here has sold $2,000 in a day before? Raise your hand if you sold $2,000 in a day. Yes, hands raised. Cool. So if you sold $2,000 in a day before, that's putting together 14 days. It's a 16-day push we're doing. you do 14 $2,000 days, that's $30,000 in sales. For our FSMs, that's $15,000 in 2 weeks. For the rest of you guys, it'd be somewhere that could have $8,000 to $12,000 in 2 weeks. That's real money, and that happens every single year, multiple times a year. That happens for our top people. Now, the big thing I think that people get worried about is that you guys are like, well, that's the top people, that's not me. Well, that's bullshit. Because the top people are the top people because they did this once upon a time, right? Kristen's first push ever, SC2 last year, she'd been on the job a month, and Kristen sold $15,000 for her SC2 push. Right? So she'd probably been here 2 weeks longer than you, right? When she did $15,000. Right? And at that point, up to that point in Kristen's career, she maybe sold what, 6 or 8. She sold 6 or 8 in her first month on the job, and then she sold $15,000 for SC2. So how do we take someone that's brand new and do that? Well, I'll tell you guys a couple of the secrets right now, I guess. The first thing that we need to do is, well, we have to be prepared the right way. So preparation means we have to have leads. Now, if you have you need to be focused on gathering leads for the course of these next 2 weeks. That's what that's about, gathering your leads, gathering your leads, gathering your leads. You have 100, 150 names numbers going into this thing, so you guys want bigger, you need to have more. So your leads is the first thing. Then after that, we sit down with the manager, you do a PC. PC is pretty simple. A PC is basically, we sit down, we're going to plan out what could go right, what could go wrong, and what days you're going to be doing your demos, how many demos you need to do each day, when your team meetings are, when your phone time is, what your averages should be playing out to. And personally, I think for a push, $30,000, well, $30,000 will big for some of you guys, so, to be honest. What usually will happen is that for lots of you guys that are new to start within the last month or two, we'll go after $10,000 for this push. You'll either hit it, be above it, be below it. That part doesn't matter. Right? And I think that's one thing with goals, too. Sometimes you get really worked up and think, man, if I don't hit this goal, I said to myself, then I'm a failure, or I'm a piece of crap, right? I can't believe I failed, and I can't show my goal, right? You hit it, or you don't hit it, or you go above it, but it doesn't matter. But anyway, I'm ready to go for goals because you'll end up doing more in the short term. But anyways, we're going to go for this. Because the reason we set goals is to hit the goals because, right, like, the growth that we get in the process. So that's why that's important. But, so we're going to set this goal. And then we're going to track it out and figure, okay, based on that, how much do I need to sell? And we can put that into, then turn that into how many demos we need to do each day. So those of you guys that are new, and you're going for like 10K for an SC1. 10K for an SC1 is going to probably put you somewhere. You'll probably, some of you guys will hit it, some of you guys will come a little short. Some of you guys will sell 6, sell 5, sell 7. That's okay. Some of you guys will sell 12, go a little bit over, maybe get to 15, somewhere in there. But here's the thing. All you guys that do is 10 for SC1. We're gonna get that skill set in place. You're gonna make a good paycheck. It's gonna be fun. You're gonna have your first common paychecks for some of you guys. You're gonna have your first $1,000 to $3,000 in the bank, like Eric was talking about earlier. Right? And then the fun thing is you're gonna have done 40 demos, 50 demos with all of those new leads and recommendations. Well, now all of a sudden your business is looking completely different than it was before you started. And that's the real key of this. Right? It's a short period of time where you fundamentally make your business different. Where you go out and you say, I'm going to push, work, and you go do that. And so once you get this thing set up the right way, and you have 400, 600 names and numbers, just like you have notebooks and you have lead sheets and they're everywhere, right? Because some of you guys right now are like, I got like 1, right? Like I know like 3 people on my recommendation school. Even if you're at that level right now, you can make it look like that. Because here's the fun thing: what happens next is after we do this SC1, well, then we have like the Super Bowls, the biggest of big, the everyone comes out and competes. All the CSPs are pushing, all the top reps are pushing. We have reps sell $50,000, $60,000 in a push, right? We have our top folks going this year for our SC2 push to break national records, which are over $60,000 sold in 2 weeks, right? So the thing with that though is we have then we're prepared to be able to go off and do someone who's brand new can go off and do $30,000 for an SC2. And the cool thing with that is, that means by the end of your summer for even new people, you're pushing someone in neighborhood of $40,000, $50,000 summers. That's what Ryan Culver did this last time. How much did you sell for SC1, Ryan? Cool. They sold 22,000 for SC1. How much for SC2? SC2 was 22,000. SC1 was 13,000. All right, cool. And then how much you sold total for the summer? Yeah, it was 42,000. He is one of the top 50 All-Americans with last summer. He's on that post right there. He won an All-American scholarship. Right, and that's how we take someone to $40,000, $50,000 summer.
That means you're over 17 grand, by the way.
Cool. Right, have 13,000. You know, it's not bad money. I think it could be even bigger than that, though. That's the fun thing. But that's how we get 10K plus into the summer, 20K possibly. So all of this starts and all of this comes up with my favorite day of the year is coming up in 94 days from now, and that is Fighting Texas Aggie football kickoff at 2:30 in the afternoon on September the 3rd. We're playing UCLA. That's my favorite day of the year. But my second favorite day of the year is a thing we have called All Day Call Day. And All Day Call Day is happening. Write this down. So what we do is we are going to have a meeting, division meeting, to kick off this push on the 18th. We're all going to go down to Houston. We're going to see everyone that's in this room right now. We're going to be live with all the other offices. July 18th. So no. I'm looking at the wrong date. I'm sorry, everyone. I fudged up. Monday, June 13th. I'm sorry, guys.
Write that down. June 13th.
Division meeting, June 13th, kicks this thing off. On the 12th, we have this thing called an all-day call day. What is it? Well, we come in the morning, we have breakfast together. It's also one of my favorite things to eat at breakfast, and I love breakfast. And we'll have some biscuits.
He does.
Gravy. Well, I do, because we go to like Cracker Barrel or something, eat breakfast together. And then if anyone's interested in that, they can go there. But we'll go do a breakfast in the morning, and then we'll meet up at the office after that around 11 o'clock or so, and start calling. And we're gonna call for until 9 o'clock that night. Now we don't call straight. We take different breaks, and we have like whatever. Games and food and more stuff delivered, but really we just sit down and call because it's our objective by the end of that day. We need to go through and call 100, 200 calls, 300 calls on that day to completely go set up your schedule so you have a full Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's all just book straight, right? So you already have 30 demos walking through 20 demos, 15 demos, right? Going after your push. So you want half of your demos booked on that day. And that's happening on the 12th. For some of our guys who are going after things that are bigger than 10K, we're having an extra call day on the 11th. That's an invite only. That's just probably maybe 2 or 3 of our, maybe 4 of our very, very top people are going for $30,000 pushes kind of a thing. We do 2 call days. But on Sunday the 12th, we need to be ready, and we have all our names and numbers ready to call. So that's the goal. So if you want to be going after your 10K, you're like, hey, I need to make sure I have 100 names and numbers, 150 names and numbers by Sunday, June the 12th. We do that call day, and we go meet up with everyone on the 13th, have fun, see everyone. Unfortunately, we're going to get some swords. We have mass coaching win swords. We have swords that we're going to get to win for our top challenge week winners. And then the 14th kicks off SC1 push. And we sell, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But hitting this thing the right way, if you do it the right way, man, this is something that just kind of blows up your summer, and you can pay for, your tuition bill at Texas A&M in the fall. Kristen, was it your plan when you started to be able to pay for your tuition at A&M? No, but were you able to? Yes, cool, right? And so for some of you guys that aren't in school, well, shit, do whatever you want to with $10,000. I don't know, buy a painting, whatever you want, right? Some people really like art. But that's the thing I would say about that, though. Because if we line it up the right way, it's going to be really, really exciting. And usually on events like this, I'll just be like, heck yeah, push is coming up, get excited. I don't really share everything that we do, but I want to share everything we do with you guys this time around, both branch managers and new reps and assistant managers included, because this is our big thing for us, our first SD1 push, our first big SD1 push, big push of the year, big push of the division. It's coming up pretty quickly. And if we nail this one right, and when we nail this one right, man, then all that other stuff that we talk about, like having $1 million plus years and having national championship organizations and winning silver cups and people bringing home trophies and people, whatever, saving 10, 20, 30, 50 grand in a year, you know, all of that happens when we nail these things. So it may be a little today, maybe a little weird, maybe like I just started this next thing like 3 days ago, like you did, and I know we're talking about some really crazy numbers, but that's one of the fun parts of it too, because those guys that do work in it, do commit with it, do figure things out, well, all are the ones that are going to be really good at this thing, and then have an exciting opportunity into the future. Future district managers, future CSPs, future branch managers, future assistants. That's a really exciting thing, and well, you earn your reputation in the game. So that's something I found over the years. So it'll be a lot of fun. Wish everyone a lot of luck. Kathy, I think that's about all I had in terms of getting ready for this push and having all day holiday set up. But did you have any questions or was there anything you want me to cover that I didn't?
It's actually Mary Lou, but that was awesome, Cody. That was a lot of information. I know everybody here was taking the mad notes. Thank you so much for talking about setting up the push. I know you always have people bring it, so I'm excited to compete with you guys this summer.
It will be very fun, that's for sure. I'm looking forward to some people trying to beat us.
Cool. All right, man. Well, thank you so much. Everybody give Cody a round of applause. Somebody said I love you, Cody. He loves whoever that is too. Fine. All right, cool. So to pre-wrap up myself, I guess, we have the record breaker for SC1 last year. So talk about how to get the goods on how to really maximize this push. Last year, Dawson Pickett sold how much for SC1? 29,893. So he made basically 10 grand in his first 2 weeks in Cutco, breaking the record as a brand new representative for this push. I remember when Dawson first started in Cutco last year at this push period, and I was like, that guy sold 29 grand? Shit, everybody on my team is selling 29 grand. Not anything offensive to him, but you know, when you're brand new selling Cutco, you don't really know how to sell Cutco, right? So what I love about Dawson is that he really is just like a pioneer following the program. And on a personal note, he's a lot of fun. So I know he's ready to help you guys get the goods to rock this push. So give a big hand to Mr. Dawson Pickett.
All right, first off, I want to bring some energy in the room. Everybody stand up. Yeah. Right. Particle push, it's got a lot to do with energy. So stand up. All right, now sit back down.
Woo! All right.
I got the blood over a little bit. So first off, anybody know what a push stands for? No? Okay, so push is persistence until excellence happens. Or sorry, persistence until success happens, right? So basically, through a push, you really want to find out why you're doing it, okay? Why would you want to do this push? Well, first off, it's going to give you the opportunity to get recognized in front of our entire division, our entire region, right? Everyone has a chance to see who you are. You get to make a name for yourself, especially new representatives coming into the business. I know for me, last year at this time, I had a conversation with my manager, Jordan Giratano, and he basically looked at me and he was like, hey, what do you think you can do for this? And I told him $30,000, right? And that was a dream of mine. That's something I wanted to hit. But he made me write it down on paper. And then that dream became a reality. So first thing you got to do to succeed in the push, I'm sure Cody already went over a lot of this great stuff, but find out what number you want to hit. Have that discussion with your manager. Set that as a goal for yourself. And once you put it in paper, that becomes something to hold yourself accountable to. Okay. Now, one of the greatest things that we have in this division is our alliance meetings, right? Those are going to be every morning, 7:30 for some offices, 8 for others. Yeah, 7:30. Okay. Going to those meetings is the reason, and following the program, following our schedule, is the reason that I did $29,000 for the push. Okay. It's not hard. It really isn't. It takes a lot of dedication and a lot of really good planning, but actually getting to that point is just work. It's committing to the action, okay, and taking a course on that action. So going forward into a push, right? A couple things you can win. There's all sorts of different prizes, all sorts of different recognitions. For some of you, that'll be the reason you're pushing, right? Maybe you want to break the record and win the iPad, which, by the way, everybody, you want one of these. They're great. This is all I've used for a year now. Another thing as well, right, it gives you that recognition, like I said before. You're going to stand out to Kathy. You're going to stand out, more importantly, to Lloyd, and you're going to stand out to the other district managers that are going to be at that meeting, and your name's going to be on reports going off to the entire nation. So it really sets you up for success going forward. SC1, kind of what it did for me is it built my mindset for the entire summer, okay? SC1 is that period where you really want to see what you can do as a new representative. A lot of you won't really have a great idea and understanding of your capabilities as a rep until you're done with the push. I know when I look back at the push and I looked at that $29,000 I did, I thought it was a great number. A year's gone by, and I've looked at it now and seen what I could have done if I would have just applied myself a little bit more, right? And basically what that would have been, I would have broken it, you know, a couple more $1,000, a little bit better recognition. But that push set me up for success, not just for SC1, not just for SC2, but for the entire summer, for my career, for the entire year, okay? So you really ask yourself that question, right? What am I willing to do in these 15 days of straight selling, straight, you know, hitting it hard, being there every morning, being at the alliance meetings, making those phone calls, committing to the goals, and taking the actions to achieve those goals? Where's it going to get you, right? Where's it going to set you up? I would not be a district manager today if it wasn't for that SC1 push, if it wasn't for going to those alliance meetings, for instilling that schedule, that program into myself, which has allowed me to apply it to other representatives and gain all that recognition right there at the front, guys. Just picture yourself, okay? And this is an opportunity every single person in this room and every single person watching online has, is not just to do a $10,000 push. That's very exciting. Who would want to raise your hand if you want to make somewhere between $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, maybe even $10,000 just in these 15 days? Anybody? All you should have your hands up. I don't know about you, but that's a lot of money, okay, in a very short amount of time. Everyone has the opportunity to achieve that. Everyone has the opportunity to make that income. It's just committing to the action, getting there and actually doing it, right? So going forward, a couple things that I just want to kind of leave you with, kind of get you going for. I know my talk's very short, right? It's just kind of getting everybody going about the push and why you should do it, but personal reasons as well, right? You're just testing yourself. You're seeing where you will be in 15 days. How are you going to evolve as a person? How are you going to change as a person? Our goal, and the goal for everyone here, should be to become the best version of yourself, right? Applying yourself in this push is going to make you become closer to that version of you and let everyone else know that you're not just about talk. You're actually here to show up and make something happen, make a difference, and be on the front of the frontier for the business. Records will be broken. My record will be broken this year. Somebody in this room will most likely be the person to do it. All you have to do is ask yourself, are you willing to put in the work to get there? Are you willing to put in the work to get there? And guys, let me tell you, standing on a stage in front of 500 of your peers, friends, and coworkers, and getting awarded a huge trophy and getting to shake Lloyd Reagan's hand, and then find out you win an iPad or, you know, a MacBook or a couple other prizes, whatever it might be, yeah, TV. It is an amazing feeling, and the confidence that you get from doing that push, from hitting your goals, from actually going after it, it's better than anything else you could imagine, and it'll probably be one of the greatest accomplishments of your life so far, right? So looking back, SC1, that's the entire reason I am where I am today. That's the entire reason why a lot of the representatives out of Jordan's office, Kathy's office, and other district managers' offices are where they are today. So apply yourself, see what you can do, right? So many people ask, why me, right? They look at life kind of in a negative perspective. Stop asking why me, start asking why not me. Why can't I do it? There's no reason you can't do it. Follow the program, let your managers coach you, set a goal, go after it with enthusiasm, passion, and excitement, and you're going to be able to achieve anything you put your mind to. Guys, that's just my bit to end, and I'm going to bring up Mary Lou. She's a pilot manager, helped lead Kathy's office to 7 national championships, silver cups. So I'll let her wrap the meeting up.
All right, give him a round of applause. So I had my little keynote here, but instead I'm not going to use it. So, all right, cool. Yeah, you can take whatever you want. It's your office. You got it. Get it on your space. All right, cool. So I have 4 keys for you guys to building some push momentum. How many of you are excited for SC1? That was not exciting at all. How many of you are excited for SC1?
Guys, it's the playoffs!
Guys, this is the playoffs. In my office, like if you're a part of the Warriors, this is where we come to play, even though we're always playing. Last year we beat the team below us, I think, by over 50 grand, and I know that was some motivation for the other offices to really step their game up this summer. So they're going to give us a run for our money. But I'm excited for the division as a whole. So my 4 keys for you guys are good, not if only you're a representative, but also if you're a manager. A lot of this stuff is more perspective and mentality, but it's things that I do personally before any push happens to make sure that we're building the right momentum. So the first key that I have for you guys today is don't wait. Okay, don't wait once you leave this meeting. Ben Nicholas once said, most of life is routine, dull, and grubby, but routine is the momentum that keeps a man going. If you wait for inspiration, you'll be standing on the corner after the parade is a mile down the street. So, don't let everybody else be 1 week into the push, selling X amount of dollars, and you're still behind trying to build that momentum. So once you leave this meeting, get to action. Don't wait at all. Just start working, okay? You guys ever hear the analogy of like pushing a big rock up a mountain or a big round boulder up a mountain, and it's super tough going uphill, but what happens once you get to the top?
That's amazing.
It's amazing, right? What happens when you get there? The ball just rolls, right? That's what momentum is. The momentum has to be built up first. So this week, it could be kind of working the kinks out, but you want to be working the kinks out the week before the push, not during the push. Does that make sense? Say yes if it makes sense. Yes, it makes sense, right? So the second step in not waiting is to take action, okay? Not just take any kind of action, but you want to take big action for the push. Momentum demands movement, all right? I heard that one time, and it kind of stuck with me. I have the same picture I've had for like the last 4 years from a talk that I heard that says momentum demands movement, okay? If you want to build momentum, you can't just think it in your head. You can't just make the plan. You've got to move. You got to take action. You have to go out there. You have to do the demos. You have to put the work in. You have to collect the recommendations. Someone once said taking bold, focused action creates explosive results, right? So if you take bold, focused actions, you're going to get explosive results. So don't wish for it. You have to work for it. All right. That's what building momentum is all about. It's all about working for it instead of wishing for it. So number 3 is not just to set goals. It's you want to set greater goals for yourself, not just goals, but greater goals. So everybody in this room has a goal for the push, or will have a goal for the push. And whatever goal you initially put on paper, it's almost like your mind has like a filter that you don't even know it's there. You've already fought yourself on, should I sell 10K, should I sell 20,000 for this push? Or maybe some of you in your head, it starts off with, should I break Dawson's record for this push? And there's a filter in your head that happens, and then the thought that's actually conscious for you, should I sell 20,000 for this push? Should that be my goal? And then what you say out loud to people is like 10 steps below that. You're like, okay, my goal is 10,000, right? Because it's an acceptable number. It's the quote-unquote realistic number. But the right way to build momentum is not by having the realistic goal or the goal that other people set for you. It's by setting greater goals for yourself. So you have to just kind of rip that filter, out of your head and set greater goals for yourself. Someone once said, one way to keep momentum going is to have constantly greater goals. So if you want to continue your momentum, you can't just set the bar to something that someone's done before. You have to set the bar to something that you couldn't even think you could do. And when you get there, it's an amazing feeling, and I'm sure Dawson can tell you. You want to have goals so big that you feel uncomfortable telling small-minded people. I remember Dawson and I a couple months ago were talking about that as we were setting his goals for the summer, going through his business plan. We initially had one thing written down, and as we were planning, we came across that picture, and it really just reminded me that, sometimes we set goals based on how comfortable we are telling other people about those goals. But you want to have a goal so big that you're kind of uncomfortable telling people that are small-minded because they're probably going to laugh or whatever. But then I want to follow that up with something else I heard from Bob Proctor that says, set a goal to achieve something that's so big, so exhilarating that it excites you and scares you at the same time. Any of you have a goal before that excites you and scares you at the same time? Raise your hand if you've had that before. It must be a goal that is so appealing, so much in line with your spiritual core that you can't get it out of your mind. If you do not get chills when you set a goal, you're not setting big enough goals. So just tell yourself that, if selling 10K for this push is not big enough for you, set a bigger goal. That's really going to help your momentum going. Number 4, and one of the last keys here, because I do have a bonus key for you, it's not just to pursue these goals, but to pursue these goals passionately. To get momentum, you must first focus on a specific goal with passion and intensity. That's the only way that you're going to gain momentum. If you just go into this push thinking, okay, I have X goal, and I'm just going to, build momentum, doing what I've normally been doing. Your goals for your push, is that something that you normally do every week? No, right? So how do you expect to get a greater goal by doing the same thing you've been doing? Does that make sense? So you have to do a little bit more to get a little bit more, and that's how you build momentum. And the last bonus, key that I have is, this is going to sound weird, is plan to suffer, okay? Plan to suffer, all right? So I said you have to pursue your goals passionately, right? So the word passion actually comes from the Latin root word, which means pati, which means to suffer greatly for what you love. And if you're pursuing your goals passionately, everybody knows that when you go for big goals, there's always big challenges that come with it, right? So you can't either, look at this push and say to yourself, okay, everything's going to go perfect. My manager and I, we put the plan together. I was going to collect, 300 recommendations this week, and that's my momentum. It's all going to go perfect. It's going to be amazing. How many of you did that, like for your fast start or for a push one time, and it didn't go exactly how you planned? Is that anybody before? It doesn't go the way it's planned, right? And the only reason why people don't achieve the goal that they want, even though their plan, didn't go according to that, is they weren't passionate enough about it, so they didn't continue to pursue that goal. If you're truly passionate about something, do you stop doing that thing? No, right? Why do teachers do what they do? Because they love it, right? They could be making money doing something else like anybody else. They could study something else. They could do a job that they hate, but they have a passion for what they love, so they're willing to suffer for it. So my keys in review for you guys, if you want to build big momentum for this SC2 push, is number 1, don't wait. Once we leave this meeting, go do a demo, go on a field training, make some phone calls, get a plan with your manager. So number 2, take action on those plans. Number 3 is to set greater goals for yourself, not just ordinary goals, and rip that filter that's already been placed in your mind. Number 4 is to pursue them passionately. And the last one is to plan to suffer. So I'm ready to pursue my goals passionately for this push. I hope you guys are. I want to see all of you guys on stage at SC1 Push. I know I will be. I'm planning on being number 1 again this year. So let's have a great SC1 Push.
Woo! So here's what I need real quick. So you guys can help me.